you guys from?
We are from Milwaukee currently, but we started the band in Austin. That's kind of a long story. I don't know if you want to hear it, but long
Absolutely.
story short. Oh, okay. I mean, I'll try and keep it short. I have a tendency to ramble.
I feel you
It's
there.
it's probably very uncute of me, but essentially, I had moved to Austin with a person and ended up pursuing music while I was down there because, Austin City, like
Right.
ACL, whatever. So ended up starting Gold Steps there. And the person I started Gold Steps with um, is actually my now husband.
Okay.
And I came from Milwaukee, and so partway through our adventure as Gold Steps, I had always planned to move back home. So we moved back to Milwaukee for me in 2019, just in time for the pandemic to hit, I guess. Um,
Right.
but so now we are based in Milwaukee, which is cool because Chicago's right there. Where you're from?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Lovely,
like an
lovely
hour south.
city.
Yeah. Like if I just drive like 20 minutes down the highway, I can see the skyline. It's crazy.
That's so cool. That's like honestly, so we spend obviously a lot of time in Chicago just because it is like the closest big city. It's either like Chicago or Madison. Last weekend we were in both, which was really, really fun.
Right.
But yeah, like Chicago is, I would say, kind of like our second home just because our bassist lived there for a number of years. Our management is based in Chicago. And I mean, that's where the
Oh
majority of
yeah.
our fans are. So, yay, Chicago.
Awesome. Awesome. So what is the driving factor in keeping the band alive?
I think it's a need. I have this like personal thing inside me. Like we actually for a moment weren't sure whether Gold Steps would continue on after moving here.
Hmm.
The pandemic ironically put a lot of things probably not ironically. This probably happened to a lot of people. The pandemic put a lot of things in perspective to me. So we had kind of hit a wall. We'd been touring for a while before we moved up here, and I started to feel like I couldn't separate the person from the band. I was just that into it that everything else, I just had this like tunnel vision. And at some point, I kind of realized I wasn't taking very good care of myself. I was lashing out kind of privately in a lot of ways. I was really, really unhealthy. So we moved up here, and I thought, you know what, maybe this is the end. I'm going to take a break and see if this drive, this desire is still there. Um, and then the pandemic hit, and I was like, this is, this might be the world telling me that I might never have this chance again. So if I get this chance, I'm going to take it.
Right.
I should have been more productive during the pandemic, but I was definitely in a doom mindset for a long time, thinking that, like, what if I lose my friends and family? But as we were in the pandemic, Zach and I started to rebuild the band, and we felt like we finally met a couple of musicians that we could really work well together with, and we didn't feel like we had to shoulder all of the burden alone. So it since that moment, I think we've just been pushing and pushing and pushing. But I don't think I could give it up. Every day that I have where I have a bad day and I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I can't do this. I will stay up all night and realize that this is so much a part of me that I could never get away from it. Like I
Right.
will probably be still trying to make it in like as long as my body will hold out. I will still be crawling my way to stages and trying to perform, and people will be like, who's that crazy lady just trying to what is happening up here? Is she okay? Does she need to be put in a home? And that'll just be me still trying to like make my dream happen. That's once you
Absolutely.
realize that's part of your being, I don't think as an artist you can it's I will never be able to walk away again. It's impossible.
100% agree with that. I mean, for me, it's like if I'm not doing something creative or something that I physically need to do to just keep myself happy, keep myself going, I get to this like really dark place, and it just sometimes it just takes over. And but luckily I have some really good friends, and my job's been really good to me. And then I started this whole Scream Therapy page based on the whole crisis that I went through last year, and it's helped not just me but a lot of people as well. Like I started this page when I had my crisis. I had like 500 followers. Now I'm over 2,000, and it's just like, I know like technically it's not a lot, but it's been a growing thing that I've helped put together for like I said, not just myself but other people. And I think that's what keeps me going on it.
That's amazing. I mean, to be completely transparent, like as an artist, any person who reaches out and wants to talk to us, I feel honored, because nobody owes us their time or attention. And
Right.
I just thank you for wanting to speak to me. And it's it's interesting to hear how those like moments of darkness can really push you all of a sudden to be like, okay, I got to find my way out. What is my outlet? Like, what is going to be the thing that I save myself with? Because you're the only person who can do that for you, really.
Exactly. I used to think that like we need to fix everybody else's problems, but at the end of the day, the only one who can fix our problems is us. And I've grown a lot to where I used to be very codependent on people, but as of the last year or so, I've been dependent on myself, and I've made really good changes in my life, mentally, physically. And I really started putting myself first, and I don't regret it.
That's awesome. But it takes a lot to learn like those boundaries of being like, okay, as much as I want to help you, you're my friend or my family member. Like I am carrying my own stuff right now, and I'm taking on too much because I want to be helpful. Like that caregiver kind of feeling, and always wanting to be the savior. Yes, absolutely. Like I feel okay. This is kind of like an aside, but I feel so bad for my husband sometimes. Like Zach, so he plays the lead guitar in our band, in Gold Steps. And before I met him, I had to chase. Like I had to chase every single person I dated. Like they would come to me at first, and we would start dating, and everything would be great. And then throughout the relationship, I would be like constantly trying to be like this perfect person for them. And Zach and I were friends. We played music together. That's how we met. And having somebody who didn't need me to help them find a job, or didn't need me to carry all their mental anguish and regrets and bitterness around. And like he's such a healthy person. But sometimes I feel bad, and sometimes he'll bring that up and be like, so like, I remember when we were just friends, and I would see how much effort you would put into like just getting this dude to like this person to pay attention to you. And like, can I maybe get a little bit more of that sometimes? I get really hyper focused, and so like when we have like band stuff going on, like my entire brain power goes to that, and I have to take a step back and be like, hold up, I do also have the responsibilities as a wife, as a partner, to take care of my person too. So that's actually, we wrote a song about that. Our song Gatsby on our most recent EP is a lot about that feeling of being like, wow, I had such tunnel vision that I kind of forgot about everything else that is important to me, and I was losing him. I don't think I actually ever really lost him, but there was a point where I stepped back and was kind of like, oh my God, if I don't protect and take care of the people that I love, they will leave, and it will just be me in this vacuum of like persistence and chaos, like all by myself. And I don't want to be alone. So there's also that portion to it too. Is like, don't become so self-reliant and so focused on not needing anybody that all of a sudden you do look around and you realize you don't have anybody because you push them all away. I'm a very intense person, so I definitely have to.
I relate to that so much. And just like, I always want to save somebody, so I tend to fall for the people that need saving. But at the end of the day, like I said, I've been focusing on myself, and I don't regret it at all. But speaking of music, though, your Blank Space cover, amazing, amazing, absolutely.
Thank
amazing.
you. Thank
I
you.
love
It
it.
was honestly, I think there was a point where I was like kind of afraid to release it because, well, one, Taylor is, well, I mean, since we decided we were releasing it, she's gotten somehow even more like famous or more exposed. I mean, I blame Travis Kelsey, but
Yeah.
good for them. Like, I'm glad that they
I
seem
mean,
happy or
she is
whatever's
also putting out a
happening.
movie too in like the next week. So
I saw it. It came
oh, it's
out.
already out. Shit.
Yeah, so it premiered on Wednesday, and we had tickets for the original first night of the showings. I don't think Milwaukee got any of the Thursday showings that were like surprise announced this week. But yeah, we went last night, and I so we went to night one actually of the entire tour in Glendale when Paramore opened.
Oh wow.
We were one of the lucky few. I still think to this day it was a sign that like I had never seen her before. I've loved her music for a really long time, not since the beginning, but anyways, like she has become more of an inspiration to me the older I get, and the more I like, every album she releases, I'm like, damn, that speaks to me. Like I relate to this more and more and more, and so we got really lucky with the pre-sale. We had like 5 friends. We all registered for the pre-sale, and only one of us got a code, and it happened to be Zach. So I bought 5 tickets right when they went on sale. I like snuck off from work and was like sitting there like refreshing and trying to get in. And I knew that I wasn't going to try to get anything crazy because I wanted to make sure it was financially like viable for everyone to like fly to Phoenix or go. And I knew exactly where I wanted to be, center stage, nosebleeds, like get me in and out.
That
I
is
just
the
want to see the
only.
whole show.
Yeah, that is the only spot to get when you go to a concert.
Yeah, and we got them, and we paid with fees like just over $100 each. And then
Wow.
all of our friends couldn't make it anyway, so we ended up taking my mom and 2 of Zach's sisters. So it was like a
Oh
family
yeah.
thing. But so we were there night one, and then last night being at the movie again, like just re-experiencing it all over, like just. I mean, I don't think we'll ever. I mean, maybe we will, but I really doubt we're ever going to see somebody this powerful as like she's just such a what's the word juggernaut was I saw
Yeah.
somebody like said that, and there's just something about her that is happening to appeal to a large number of people, and I don't know, I just identify with her a lot. But
I
there
mean,
was a point where I was like, maybe we shouldn't release this, maybe this is like too much, and people would be like, oh my god, Gold Steps, we've had enough Taylor Swift, we get
oh
it,
my
we like
gosh.
her,
There's never
do
enough
something
Tay Tay
else.
to go around. Never
I
enough.
know. I mean, if you don't like that cover of ours, please go check out our Creed cover that we put out earlier this year.
Yes,
Very
that is
quietly,
another
like
one that I love.
we had so much fun with the Creed cover. We were originally supposed to do a different song for this compilation. We were recording a whole song, and we recorded it twice. And just every time, I was like, man, it just doesn't work with my vocals don't sound right, or something about it just didn't feel very Gold Steps-y, I guess. Which it's a cover. So we threw out Creed as like a joke. We were like, yeah, what if we did a Creed cover? I know they're not really grunge, but like post grunge, right? And the label was like, oh, we have to hear it now. You have to. You can't just put that out in the world and then not do it. And then we're like, oh,
Right.
crap. Now we have to. Now we actually have to do it. And we wanted to like make it our own a little bit. Our guitarist Alex came up with this really gorgeous, bloody lead thing, and we changed the key teensy little bit. But it was really awesome for me, like vocally, to be able to do some really fun breathy stuff. I mean, everyone knows that like we just do layers on layers of vocals and harmonies,
Right.
just because it helps build it out. Like it's like we like throw everything at the wall, and then we're like, hey, whoever's mixing this, just like whatever you don't want, just don't use it. We're giving you everything we can.
Right.
And it turned out really great. I'm so proud of it. I mean, I think maybe we'll revisit it in winter and try to do a little more like promo on it. Be like, hey, we did this too.
Right.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Help,
So
But I also really enjoy the song.
What is the hardest thing that you've overcome as a band?
Me. Me and my brain. I'm really, really hard on myself, and I think hard on other people. I can be very pessimistic, and it's not in like a giving up way. It's more in a like, we're doing everything all wrong. Like, throw it out, start from scratch, or like, we have to change everything we're doing because it's not working, or whatever the case might be. So I tend to get a little bit in my head, a lot of it in my head, and I think, I mean, it taking that break and realizing that, like, no, absolutely, this is the thing that I want to be doing with my life. That was the biggest challenge to overcome, because there was just this point where I couldn't even fathom like leaving the house anymore, because I was like, if I have to go out there, I have to be Gold Steps, and I can't do that right now. I can't. I need to figure out who else I am besides that, and find that person again. And so taking the opportunity to do that and realize that life isn't over if I'm not in this band, but I'd rather be in it than without it.
Right.
And so that, I think that was the biggest challenge. I mean, you run into stuff all the time where you think it's like the end of the world, where somebody like is a bad fit as a band member and you have to like part ways with them, or you know, you go out on tour and the shows don't sell the way you think, and you're like, oh my god, this is the end of us, it's over. That really is never it. If your heart and mind can be in it, you can keep going and you can do it. And
Right.
if anything, I feel like it's all I hear all the time is it's a combination of hard work, luck, and time. So we're still doing that grind, and we're gonna keep going.
Right. So what is one word or phrase that you would use to describe your fan base?
Oh, the fans. Oh my gosh. I would say very kind. We have a lot of really genuinely sweet, kind people that like our band. People who I suspect have not received as much kindness as they deserve. I feel like our band attracts those people who have never quite felt like they belonged, and that has made them kinder for it, because they know what that feeling is like. And I think that's something that I must radiate, that kind of energy, because that is how I mean, I was bullied as a kid. I carry a lot of self-esteem issues because of that. And a lot of the people that I meet out on tour, that I meet at our shows, give me that kind of indicator that when they are at our show, they hear something in our music that they identify with, and it speaks to them, and it makes them feel like they have a place to belong.
Right.
But I would say overall, they're just all very kind people.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I remember I was going through your guys' YouTube channel one day, and I saw the vlog that you guys were making from your Chicago show last year.
Mm-hmm.
Gave me some PTSD. Lots of clips of me and my ex.
Oh no, I'm sorry. We'll take it down.
No, you're fine. It was just weird. I was like, damn, there's me, and then there's her.
It's hard, honestly, like to go back through. Like, I know a lot of people are good about deleting pictures and stuff, and I'm not, because I'm just a hoarder of life things in general. Right. And it's not even like I would go back and look at them, but it took me like years to go back through and like clear out my phone and be like, I don't need pictures of these people in here. I don't need them on my Instagram. And that, you know, that felt like a big step of closure for me. Not that there was ever like, you know, a thought of opening up that wound again. Right. But there was definitely like, it takes a little bit sometimes to actually like deal with it. Like, throw away that box of old letters or move on from it, you know, especially when it was like a sad, like kind of tragic, like parting of ways, instead of, you know, when you're angry and you're just like, I'm just going to burn it all and then it'll be done with. But sometimes you hold on to those things because they were happy at some point. There was some good that came out of it. And so sometimes it's hard to let go and be like, there will be more happiness. There will be more good things. And I need space for new happy things.
Right. Like the current me, honestly, it's like looking back at right after the breakup, I was literally going through grief. Like that's how bad it was. I was like, oh, she's gotta come back, right? And like my buddy was like, no, she's not coming back, bro. Like I was like, no, she has to. You know, like
it is grieving.
Like I could just think of her, or I could like just like remember that scent, or you know, if I smelled the same scent, like I would just like burst down crying. I was going through like panic attacks. I was diagnosed with like severe depression, severe anxiety. And then like she would be the one drunk texting me, telling me I'm a piece of shit. But you know what? It's like the me that I am now. I've grown so much from that, and it's like I could care less. Like I don't want nothing to do with her. Like, man, rough times.
Yeah.
Music is always.
You're here.
Yeah. Music has always been there for me, and that's why I want to start interviewing these bands and everything, because like I want people to see the human side of the musicians that are helping us get through our hurt. And
that's kind of my favorite thing about interviews, really. Like when I read and like listen to interviews.
Absolutely. I haven't interviewed.
I know the music.
I haven't interviewed anybody since 2015, so I apologize if this is rusty.
Oh, no, not at all. Honestly, I prefer the more conversational approach. I feel like you get to really know a person more by their, you know, I mean, we could talk and just do the back and forth Q&A kind of thing, but I really don't think that's what people are here for. I know, like, when I like an artist, it's, to me, the fact that they are mortal humans that walk amongst us and yet have this capability to express things that, yeah, I mean, we're all human and some of them are universal, but there is a magic to creating art that speaks on like that soul level where you just like your whole being, like that visceral like feeling when you listen to a song. And I feel like our genre specifically tends to attract those people who are natural empaths that have, you know, that's the emo part of it, right? Like that's the part of it. Like we, you know, yeah, man, I'm sensitive. Like I'm gonna cry at the drop of a hat. I might have a huge old tantrum over something, but that's because I feel everything with my whole entire heart, my whole entire being, and there's no off switch. Sometimes I don't have mild reactions to a lot of things.
And you're here or you're here. No in
right? Yeah, and like I mean, I don't want to tame that beast. I've been down that road before, and like it didn't feel authentic to me. It felt like I was a ghost or some sort of shell of who I used to be, and you know, I just got to get it out some other way. And not like that's what music's for.
Yeah, a lot of people in my life are like, oh, you need to be on medication. I'm like, if I get on medication, I lose the best part of me. Yeah,
the ability to feel. And that's not to speak that there are people who have found the meds that work for them. I think the meds that maybe I didn't spend enough time working with it, but I also was like presented with a couple different diagnoses and kind of just picked like, I was like, okay, yeah, I probably should treat that, but like right now this is the thing that's most impacting my life, so let's treat that. And I think maybe if I had gone the other route, like I was diagnosed with ADHD, on top of like anxiety, depression, and panic disorder that I was diagnosed with like a couple years prior, then on and off meds, nothing ever sat well. It would like I was on tour when I was trying new meds and I gained a bunch of weight. I would sweat profusely. Like it was awful. I was having weird outbursts. Like I reacted with like real deep rage that like I had never. It was awful. Like it was like I was a totally different person, and it just didn't lead to a good quality of life. But maybe had I chosen to medicate the ADHD part of it, maybe that would have helped fix some of like the other like anxiety issues that I have.
Right.
But we're here today. So
I'm managing. What it is.
I go to work every day. I don't I don't harm people or myself. Like I'm in a better place. And I
Oh
think
yeah,
that for me, and probably I suspect for you, has been making certain lifestyle changes and trying to reframe your mindset so that that's kind of your like self-medication.
absolutely. So, what is your favorite tour moment?
Oh goodness. Ooh. Let's see. So as far as like official tour moment or just like best show moment, I
Whatever
won't
you
be able to
want to
pick
tell
either
me.
way. I have to say, so last year when we were on the road, we were in San Antonio. We were on tour with Say We Can Fly and Johnny Gilbert, and we actually had a fill-in drummer. Our official drummer wasn't able to take the time away from work, so we had hired gun in Quentin, who came on tour with us, and we were playing this venue in San Antonio, and in the middle of actually our blank space cover, a fuse blew. And so like nothing was coming out of the amps or drums. For whatever reason, our in-ear monitor system rig was still working. So I'm hearing myself, I'm hearing the metronome, everything sounds great to me. And all of a sudden I noticed the crowd getting kind of weird. And so I kind of like paused for a second and then realized, oh, I don't hear a guitar or bass. What's going on? Realized we blew a fuse or tripped a fuse or whatever. And so we're standing there. The people at the venue are panicking. I mean, we just pop pumped like so hard. We like blew out the electricity. But so while we're sitting there, we like kind of finished the song because like everybody knows the words. So we're like singing along and like, we just kind of, you're always supposed to like, if you notice something's like messed up, you're not supposed to react to it. You're supposed to like
Right.
just continue on professionally, rock out, and then try to figure out what's going on. And so we're like sitting there and we're like, oh, Quentin's like a solo drummer. We're like, hey, Quentin, why don't you show the kids what you can do? And so he just like banged out drums, just like soloed for a few minutes until they figured out what was wrong, and then we were able to finish our set. They got all the fuses flipped
That's
back or
great.
whatever, but it was a really cool moment to one have no clue what was going on, realize we blew a fuse, which I mean, oh, go us.
Right.
And then be able to finish the set, and I think it really kind of like won the crowd over a little bit because like we weren't just like, oh, guess we're done, bye, see you later. Like we finished it out, and so that was a really cool memory for
Oh yeah.
me. I don't know if I could ever pick a favorite. Tour memories are like puppies or babies. There are no favorites, but that one
Right.
stands out to me as something I will always
Oh yeah.
remember.
I gotta say we can fly story that's similar to that. We were
Mm,
he was playing in DeKalb. I think it was 2015, I want to say. And
throwback.
he broke a string before playing his song Scars. And so he just like, tapping on his guitar and singing it. It was great. Um yeah, fun times. I got so many stories of that guy. Speaking of which,
That's so cool.
what was it like touring with Braden?
So Braden's very shy, or at least he was shy towards us. Again, I can come on very strongly, so I don't blame him at all if he was just like, I'm staying away from that. I can't do this today. But he is
Yeah.
very sweet. He's very shy. The two of them kind of kept to themselves. I mean, I can only imagine that like they're both like softer solo artists,
Mhm.
playing acoustic songs, and all of a sudden we're like this like big loud like bouncing all over the stage band, kind of opening for them, so like building up the hype for the crowd. I mean, I think we can just be like a lot as a band sometimes, just like we're just so high energy and like always, like cracked out on energy drinks and stuff.
Right.
But Braden was very sweet. He was really, really dedicated to his fans. So watching the way that he really connected, I mean, that's really what he's built his whole career on,
Absolutely.
is that fan base, and it's really, really cool to see how many people come back to his shows continuously, and they have so many shared memories together, and that Braden remembers it. So
Yeah.
that was a very special thing to witness, that fan artist connection being so strong. I can only think of a handful of artists that I've ever witnessed that for before and never had really toured alongside in that way. So that was a very great learning experience, I think, for how we like to approach our fans too.
Hell yeah.
I think that he's just really that genuinely dedicated to his fans. He knows that they support him through everything that he does, and he does so many different things. But he's not a very big, he doesn't have that ego. He doesn't carry that like chip on his shoulder or anything. He will stand there and meet with fans until he's seen them all. And I think that's really cool.
Right. Yeah, so I've actually been supporting him for the last like 10 years.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he's been around that long.
Oh
but
my
I
gosh,
guess
yes,
I don't even want to
2009.
think about I don't even want to think about how early that was. My goodness. No. That was yesterday.
2009. Think about how long that is. But yeah, no, I came across him back in 2013 when oh my god, my mental health was so bad back then, and his music honestly did save my life and everything. And when I was going through my crisis last year, like he personally helped me through some stuff and gave me some really good advice. So he's a great guy.
That is so sweet. I know sometimes like sometimes when you're like an artist, sometimes you're sometimes afraid to reach out to people because you don't want to necessarily open up a can of worms or anything, and you also don't want to feel like they lean on you to a point where if you can't answer them back, you know, then they hate you all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah.
But I had a fan reach out to me a couple days ago, and I'm not sure why she picked me, but I felt really like chosen. Like there was a reason why she reached out to me. But she's like, you know, I just, you know, did my makeup and I'm in a really bad space. I feel like crying. How do I not cry? And I was like, well, girl, don't cry off that makeup. Like that's hard work. Like that's tough. But I've been there. And so being able to connect with her and I sent her like a silly video that always makes me laugh and like cheered her up. And, you know, it makes me sad that people, you know, ever feel like crying. I do it too. But those moments are really, really special. And I'm good job, Braden, for recognizing it and reaching out to you and letting you know that you matter. Sometimes we just need to hear it from the right person or just anybody else outside of our own headspace. But every time that somebody has taken that moment to tell me, I know I've always appreciated it. And I don't think we tell each other as humans enough that, hey, I know whatever's going on up here is telling you that you don't mean anything. That's telling you you're worthless. That's just your brain playing tricks on you. Like, you know here that you're meant to be here and that this is going to get better.
Oh yeah, looks like we're at the 5-minute warning.
Oh my god! Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
So much.
Again, Zoom is like, oh, you can only do 45 minutes for the free version.
Yeah, those darn people needing their ad dollars.
Right. But yeah, it has been such a great time. I got one more question for you. Are the steps made of gold?
I think so. Now, if we wanted to get into escalators, we're talking bronze. You know, if we're talking like ramps, maybe that's silver, or stairs, I guess. But I think so. The song that inspired our band name, By Neck Deep, it still holds really true to me. I can't help jamming it every time it's on, but it's sometimes things will bend you, but trust me, you'll be fine. 'Cause I've been moving mountains that I once had to climb, and life's not out to get you, despite the things you've been through. Because what you get is what you get. Yeah, life's not out to get you. I have to remember that. Like, that is a mantra, and that got me through some stuff. So sometimes I think, like, man, one of these days we're gonna come across people who are like, "What the hell is gold steps? Like, what is? where's that from?" Most of the time, people get the reference, but to me, I will always kind of carry that with me. So I should probably get a tattoo or something.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Sorry to sing on your interview.
Hey, you know, if people haven't heard you, they have now.
Yeah, I'm just flexing a little bit. You're such a gem.
I appreciate it. I try to be as mellow and real as I can. But it has been such a great time talking with you. I hope that your day is nothing but rainbows and sunshines in this gloomy rain weather that we're having.
I'm about to go hang out with my parents for the evening. So we're going on a spooky ghost tour at a historical society. So all sorts of spooky season fun. So I hope that you also have a really wonderful evening. And I hope that I hope those clouds get out of here because we need some sunshine. It's already, winter's long enough here. But I do like the gloominess. It's perfect. So.
All right.
Well, thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you for coming on and chatting with me. You have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Alrighty. Bye.